Hello viewers, in today's video we'll discuss about solutions of trigonometric equations. Now there are two types of solutions. Number one is principal solution. The solutions of a trigonometric equation lying in 0 to twice pi is called principal solution. For example, consider sin x is equal to half. We know that sin theta is positive in first quadrant and second quadrant. So, when the value of x is equal to pi by 6, we know sin pi by 6 is equal to half. That is, when the angle x will lie in first quadrant, the value of sin x will be is equal to half. Similarly, when the angle will reach the second quadrant and the angle is equivalent to 5 pi by 6, the value of sin x is also half. So, x equal to pi by 6 or x equal to 5 pi by 6 will give the value half. So, sin x is equal to half is possible at 2 points, pi by 6 and 5 pi by 6. So, these are the principal solutions of this equation sin of x is equal to half. Now, if you are given sin x is equal to minus half. Now note that sin x is negative in third quadrant and fourth quadrant. When the angle will lie in third quadrant or fourth quadrant, the value of sin x will be negative. Now when x equal to, here it is, this is your pi by 6. To get negative value, I have to go to third quadrant. If I add pi to this angle pi by 6, I will get 7 pi by 6. When the angle x is equal to 7 pi by 6, the value of sin x is negative. And similarly, we know in fourth quadrant the value of sin x is negative. So this is your pi by 6, this is your minus pi by 6. So from twice pi, if I subtract pi by 6, I will get 11 pi by 6. So sin x is negative at two values, equal to minus half at 7 pi by 6 and 11 pi by 6. So if the solutions of any trigonometric equations lie in the interval 0 to twice pi, is called principal solution. Okay. Number 2, it is called general solution. The expression involving integer small n, which gives all the possible solutions of a trigonometric equation is called general solution. Now, for example, if you are given sin of x is equal to half, we know that sine theta is positive in first and second quadrant. So when the angle is equivalent to pi by 6, the value of sine x is half. We know that sine theta repeat itself after every twice pi radian. So if I reach this point again after one revolution, it will be again sin x will be again equal to half. Similarly, at this point it is your 5 pi by 6. The value of sin x is again half. So if I reach this point after every pi twice pi interval, the value of sin x will remain same. So we can denote these points as 2n pi plus pi by 6 or 2n pi plus 5 pi by 6. After every these twice pi intervals, the value of sin x will be always equal to half. So it denotes the general solutions of any trigonometric equation sin x equal to half. So the expression involving integer n, which gives all the possible solutions of a trigonometric equation, is called general solution. Okay, so there are two types of solutions, one is principal and one is general solution. Now theorem 1. For any real numbers x and y, if you are given sine of x is equal to sine of y, then it implies x will be equal to n pi plus minus 1 to the power n into y, where n belongs to z. Z means integer. So whenever you are given sine of x is equal to sine of y, then x can be expressed in terms of y as the following way: x equal to n pi plus minus 1 to the power n into y, where n belongs to z. Now solution. Let's see. You're given that sine of x is equal to sine of y. For example, we know sine x is equal to half. It means sine x is equal to sine is positive in first quadrant or in second quadrant. So if I take the smallest possible value, it will be equal to sine pi by 6. So sine x is equal to sine y. Here y is equal to pi by 6. Now you are given sine x is equal to sine y. So if I take this on the left side, I will get sine x minus sine y is equal to 0. Now the formula of sin c minus sin d is equal to 2 cos c plus d by 2 into sin c minus d by 2. The formula of sin c minus sin d. So it is 2 cos c plus d by 2 into sin c minus d by 2 is equal to 0. Now we are getting two factors. The product of two factors, cos x plus y by 2 and sin x minus y by 2. 2 can never be equal to 0. So we can write either cos x plus y by 2 is equal to 0 or sin x minus y by 2 is equal to 0. Now we know that cos theta is equal to 0 whenever theta is equal to twice n plus 1 pi by 2. So I can write x plus y by 2 is equal to 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. Whenever the angle is an odd multiple of pi by 2, the value of cos will be always equal to 0. So upon solving, we'll get x equal to 2 cancelled, so it is equal to 2n plus 1 into pi minus y. This is your first solution, number 1. And sin x minus y by 2 is equal to 0. We know that sin theta is equal to 0 whenever the angle theta is equal to n pi, that is integral multiple of pi. So x minus y by 2 will be equal to n pi, where n represents integer, where n belongs to z. Similarly here n belongs to z. Now upon solving, we'll get x equal to 2n pi take y this side, it will be plus y. So we get another solution. This is number 2. So whenever this is twice n plus 1, see 2 into n plus 1, it is integer. So 2n plus 1 is always odd number. When it is odd number, it is minus y, and 2 into n even number, it is plus y. For odd number, it is negative. For even number, it is positive. So if I combining 1 and 2, we get x equal to n pi plus minus 1 to the power n into y. Whenever you combine number 1 and number 2, we get x equal to n pi plus minus 1 to the power n into y. For even number, it is 2 into pi, 4 into pi, 6 into pi, etc. Whenever the power of minus 1 is even number, it is positive. Suppose it is minus 1 square, minus 1 to the power 4, it is positive. And whenever n is odd number, this is negative, right? So for odd number, it is negative. For even number, it is positive. So we can write x equal to n pi plus minus 1 to the power n into y. So example, if you are given sine x is equal to root 3 by 2, and you have to find the general solution of this trigonometric equation, so we can proceed like this. We know sine theta is positive in first quadrant and in second quadrant. So if I take the smallest possible value, it will be equivalent to pi by 3. Sine 60 is equal to root 3 by 2. So it will be is equal to sine pi by 3. Now to find the general solution, I can write x equal to n pi plus minus 1 to the power n into y. Your y is equal to pi by 3, where n belongs to z. This is your general solution of this trigonometric equation. It represents all the possible solutions for sine x is equal to root 3 by 2, right? This is your first theorem, theorem 1. Now theorem 2. For any real numbers x and y, whenever cos x is equal to cos of y, then x can be expressed in terms of y as 2n pi plus minus y, where n belongs to z. Okay, so if you are given cos of x is equal to cos of y, for example, you can write that if you are given cos x is equal to root 3 by 2, we know that cos theta is positive in first quadrant or in fourth quadrant. So the smallest possible angle will be is equal to cos pi by 6. Cos 30 is equal to root 3 by 2. So this is your x, this is your y. So whenever you are given cos of x is equal to cos of y, we can write cos x minus cos y is equal to 0. Now using the formula of cos c minus cos d, now there are two formulae. First one is minus twice sine c plus d by 2 into sine c minus d by 2, and the second one is 2 sine c plus d by 2 into sine d minus c by 2. So we are getting two factors, sine x plus y by 2 into sine x minus y by 2. So either sine x plus y by 2 is equal to 0, or you can say sine x minus y by 2 is equal to 0. Now sine theta is equal to 0 whenever theta is equal to n pi, that is integral multiple of pi. So x plus y by 2 is equal to n pi. These are some special angles, you have to remember this. Okay, and whenever sine theta is equal to 0, it is equal to x minus y by 2 is equal to n pi, where n is an integer, where n belongs to z. Now upon solving, if I multiply by 2, I will get x equal to 2n pi minus y. This is number 1 solution, and x equal to 2n pi plus y. This is number 2. So if I solve them, I'll get x equal to 2n pi minus y and x equal to 2n pi plus y. Okay, so you can see the symmetry. If I say 2n pi, 2n pi represents these points. This is 0. 2n pi represents these points. This is 0. If I say plus y, then it will be above the x-axis, and if it is minus y, it is below the x-axis. So this is 2n pi plus y, 2n pi minus y. Okay, so combining 1 and 2, we get x equal to 2n pi plus minus y. This is the general solution of cos of x is equal to cos of y. For example, if you are given cos x is equal to minus of half. Now this is negative. We know cos theta is negative in second quadrant. Whenever the angle will be in second quadrant, the value of cos theta is negative, or maybe in third quadrant. Now for smallest possible angle, we'll take in second quadrant. We know this is minus half. So cos of x is equal to, this is cos twice pi by 3. If I take cos twice pi by 3, it means what? Cos of 120. So it is cos of 90 pi by 2 plus 60. So we know that cos theta is negative in second quadrant. So it is minus of sine pi by 6. This is 90 into 1. So it is minus of half. So in second quadrant, the value of cos x is negative. So now if I apply this formula, it will be equal to x equal to 2n pi plus minus twice pi by 3, where n belongs to z. This is your general solution for this trigonometric equation, right? This is theorem number 2. Now theorem 3. For any real numbers x and y, if you are given tan of x is equal to tan of y, then x can be expressed in terms of y as n pi plus y, where n is an integer. Solution: you are given tan x is equal to tan y. Suppose you are given tan x is equal to root 3. We know tan theta is positive in first quadrant or in third quadrant. So if I take the smallest possible angle, it will be is equal to tan pi by 3. Tan 60 is equal to root 3. So this is your x, this is your y. So you can use this following formula. Now tan x is equal to tan y. You are given that what is tan x? Tan x is sin x by cos x. Similarly, what is your tan y? Sin y by cos y. Now if I cross multiply both sides, I will get sin x into cos y is equal to cos x into sin y. Now if I take this term on the left side, I will get sin x into cos y minus cos x into sin y is equal to 0. So this is nothing but sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. The formula will be is equal to sin x minus y. Now we know that sin theta is equal to 0. We know that sin theta is equal to 0 whenever theta is equal to n pi. Make sure you know these special angles. And cos theta is equal to 0 whenever your theta is equal to 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. When the angle is odd multiple of pi by 2, the value of cos theta is equal to 0. Now your x minus y will be is equal to n pi, where n belongs to z. Therefore your x can be expressed as n pi plus y, where n belongs to z. So this is your principal general solution for tan x is equal to tan y. Example, if you are given tan x is equal to minus root 3. Now tan theta is negative in which quadrant? In second quadrant or in fourth quadrant. So we know that tan x is equal to minus root 3. We know root 3 is equal to tan pi by 3. So we have to take the angle in second quadrant. This is pi by 3. And now for negative angle, the value of tan theta must be in second quadrant. So I can write this as tan x is equal to tan of pi minus pi by 3, because we know that tan pi minus theta is equal to minus tan theta. See, I have taken the angle theta is in second quadrant, right? So it is tan of twice pi by 3. So tan x is equal to tan twice pi by 3. Now if I use the formula here, it will be is equal to x equal to n pi plus y is equal to 2 pi by 3, where n belongs to z. This is your general solution for this trigonometric equation. Okay, this is number 3. Now we will solve some problems from NCERT book. Now find the principal and general solutions of the following equations. You are given 4 problems. Tan x is equal to root 3, sec x is equal to 2, cot x is equal to minus root 3, and cos x is equal to minus 2. So these are the problems of NCERT book. So solution number 1, tan x is equal to root 3. Before solving this, you remember that tan x is positive in first and in third quadrant, negative in second and fourth quadrant. Whenever the value of tan x is negative, the angle must be in third or fourth quadrant. So you have to make the angles in third or in fourth quadrants. Now here it is root 3, which is positive. Therefore the angle must be in first quadrant or in third quadrant. This is tan pi by 3. Tan 60 is equal to root 3. And if I go after pi interval, the value of tan x will repeat itself. So after pi interval, the value of tan x will be again same. So we can write tan x is equal to root 3 means is equal to tan pi by 3. So x can be is equal to pi by 3. Again tan pi by 3 is equal to tan pi plus pi by 3, that is tan 4 pi by 3. Therefore your tan x can be is equal to tan 4 pi by 3. Hence x equal to 4 pi by 3 can be a solution. Therefore x equal to pi by 3 and x equal to 4 pi by 3 are the principal solution. See, when the solutions of a trigonometric equation lie in the interval 0 and twice pi, then this is called principal solution. Here the angles pi by 3 and 4 pi by 3 lie in the interval 0 and twice pi. So these are the principal solution. Now we have to find the general solution. Now among these two solutions, pi by 3 and 4 pi by 3, the smallest value is pi by 3. So we can take your root 3 is equal to tan pi by 3. So tan x is equal to root 3. We can assume that the value of tan x is equal to root 3 when the angle is tan of pi by 3. It's pi by 3. I can take the smallest possible value. Okay. So now if I use the formula, it will be equal to x equal to n pi plus y. Your y is equal to pi by 3. So if you take LCM, it will be is equal to 3n plus 1 into pi by 3, where n belongs to z. This is the general solution for this equation. Tan x is equal to root 3. Okay. Now number 2, sec x is equal to 2. We know the formula of cos x. So if I find the reciprocal, it will be is equal to cos x is equal to half. So we know that cos theta is positive in first quadrant and in fourth quadrant. So the angles must be in first quadrant or in fourth quadrant, right? So we know cos 60 is equal to half. So cos x is equal to, you can write cos pi by 3. Therefore x can be is equal to pi by 3. Now remember that now the angle must be in the fourth quadrant. So we know that cos of twice pi minus theta is equal to cos theta. In fourth quadrant the value of cos x is also positive. So we can write cos of twice pi minus theta is equal to cos theta. For theta is acute, the value twice pi minus theta will be in fourth quadrant. So again you can write that cos pi by 3 is equal to cos twice pi minus pi by 3. So upon solving we will get cos, this is 5 pi by 3. Therefore cos x can be is equal to cos 5 pi by 3. Therefore x will be is equal to 5 pi by 3. Hence you can say x equal to pi by 3 and x equal to 5 pi by 3 are the principal solutions. Now to find the general solution, we have to take the smallest possible value. Here the smallest value is pi by 3. So we can write cos x is equal to half. So cos x is equal to cos of pi by 3. Now if I use the formula, your x will be is equal to 2n pi plus minus y. Your y is pi by 3 where n belongs to z. So these are the general solutions of cos x is equal to half. Now number 3, cot x is equal to minus root 3. So we know the formula of tan x. So if I find the reciprocal, it will be is equal to tan x equal to minus 1 by root 3. So tan x is negative in third quadrant and in fourth quadrant. See, after every pi radian the value of tan x repeats itself. So this is minus 1 by root 3. So remember that tan theta is negative in second quadrant. So it is minus 1 by root 3. That means equal to minus of tan pi by 6. Tan 30 is equal to 1 by root 3. Now we need to get the angle in second quadrant. So again you can write tan pi minus theta is equal to minus of tan theta. This is acute angle, so it will be equal to tan of pi minus pi by 6. So your tan x is equal to tan 5 pi by 6. So x equal to 5 pi by 6 can be a solution. Again, now you need to take the angle in fourth quadrant. So you can write tan 5 pi by 6. We can say minus tan pi by 6 is equal to tan of twice pi minus theta. You can write this again. Minus tan theta is equivalent to tan of 2 pi minus theta. So it becomes tan 11 pi by 6. Therefore x equal to 11 pi by 6 can be a solution. There, hence you can write x equal to 5 pi by 6 and x equal to 11 pi by 6 are the principal solutions. Now to find the general solutions for this, cot x is equal to minus root 3, we will write tan x is equal to minus 1 by root 3. See, we have found that the principal solutions are either 5 pi by 6 and 11 pi by 6. The smallest one is 5 pi by 6, so you can write tan x is equal to tan of 5 pi by 6. Now use the formula, it is x equal to n pi plus y is equal to 5 pi by 6, where n belongs to z. These are the general solutions for this trigonometric equation cot x equal to minus root 3. Now question number 4, we are given cosec x is equal to minus 2. So if I find the reciprocal, I'll get sin x is equal to minus half. Remember that in third quadrant and fourth quadrant the value of sin x is negative. So the angle must be in third or in fourth quadrant. We know that sine of pi plus theta is equal to minus sine theta. When the theta is acute, the value of pi plus theta will be in third quadrant. Similarly, sine twice pi minus theta is equal to minus sine theta. Whenever theta is acute, the angle twice pi minus theta will be in fourth quadrant. So we can write sine x is equal to minus sine pi by 6. So we need to get the angles in third and in fourth quadrant. So you can write this is equal to sine of pi plus theta. Hence we get sine x is equal to sine of 7 pi by 6. So x can be is equal to 7 pi by 6. Again we can write minus sine pi by 6 is equal to sine of twice pi minus pi by 6, which is equal to 11 pi by 6. Hence your x can be is equal to 11 pi by 6. Now out of these two values, the smallest value is 7 pi by 6. So this can be used to find the general solution. Therefore you can write x equal to 7 pi by 6 and 11 pi by 6 are the principal solutions. Now your minus half. To find the general solution, you can assume that this is equal to sine of 7 pi by 6. So if I use the formula of sine x equal to sine y, it will be is equal to x equal to n pi plus minus 1 to the power n into y. Your y is equal to 7 pi by 6, where n belongs to z. This is the principal solution for this equation cosec x is equal to minus 2. So in next video we'll upload the problems 5, 6, 7, 8 of NCERT book. Till then, goodbye.